Today we are going to create a winter scarf cat. So, what you're going to do first is you want to get a black crayon. I have a blue crayon, as long as it's a dark crayon. We're going to create a curved rectangle. Remember, a rectangle has two long and two short. We're going to stack some rectangles on top of each other. So we start to create another curved line. And we'll gradually start to make those rectangles smaller. This is going to be our scarf. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles. So those are my scarves. Once I've done that, I'm going to pick a color for my cat. I've got a brown. If you have a black, you can still use the black. I'm creating 2 vertical lines. That's going to start the head of my cat. I'm going to then create 2 diagonal lines. I'm then creating a horizontal line. So that's the top of the cat. Once you've done that, we're going to create some eyes. It's up to you what kind of eyes you have. I'll have some anime eyes to the side so you can kind of see some. I'm making just some half circle cat eyes. I added a little bit of eyelashes. You don't have to add eyelashes if you don't want to. That's just a little extra detail. Then I'm adding the center part of the eye. I'm going to add a small oval for the cat's nose. Now I'm going to start to work on the cat's feet. I'm going to make 2 triangles. Then I'm going to start to create the body of the cat. Start to bring down a curved line. I bring down another curved line. And then I create a horizontal line at the bottom. Then we're going to create the tail. That is a C shape. After I've done that, I'm going to make another C shape parallel to that other C shape. And then we make a U shape to close off our shape. So we have our cat's tail. I'm adding a wavy line to add the end of the scarf. I'm making a diagonal and I'm closing up that shape. Add a couple lines to make some fabric lines at the end of the scarf. Now I'm creating my horizon line. That is where the land meets the sky. I'm going to add a pattern on the scarf. So I'm creating vertical lines to create a pattern on the cat's scarf. To create the background, you want either a light blue or a white to create our snowflakes. Once you picked your crayon, we're going to be using it to create a resist. This is a watercolor technique. So wherever the wax is, that watercolors won't go. To make a snowflake, we make the letter X, then the letter T, and then I add little V's at the end of it. Then I just keep repeating that, making X's, letter T's, little V's. Sometimes I add a little extra detail by crossing it with another T shape, so it adds some more details to the snowflake. I've made it where I have some blue snowflakes and I have some white snowflakes. You can even add some snowflakes that are just circles. With the white crayon, I'm going to create some lines by the nose to create some whiskers. This will create a resist, so when I add my other colors, you'll see some faint white lines of the cat's whiskers. On the ground, I'm going to add some wavy lines with my white crayon to create some texture to make it look like snow. We are going to be using temper cakes. I have some neon temper cakes and we also have some normal colored temper cakes. I'm adding a couple marks on there for some texture on my cat. The marks I am using are actually from something called a Prayon, which is a crayon / watercolor, so that when I activate it, it will also have watercolor on it. To use temper cakes, what you do is you wet your paintbrush and then you wet the temper cake and you place it on the paper. Temper cakes are meant to be solid. They are not meant to be gooey. If you are taking your paintbrush and stabbing the temper cake, you are doing it wrong. Temper cakes are meant to be activated by water. You can activate it by using a wet on wet technique where you wet your paper and then wet the paint and then place it on the paper, or you can have it where, like what I'm doing now, is wet on dry, where I'm just wetting my paintbrush and then placing it on the paper. What we never do is smash the brush. Remember, the paintbrush we hold similar to a pencil. Adding water to it, you want to make sure as you're working it with your hand, you're not placing your hand on your paper to smudge your paper. You do also want to make sure that you're using the tip of the brush, not pressing it down to where it is going to smash the bristles on the brush or tear your paper. When we paint with the tippy toes of our paintbrush, it is where we're just flicking the bristles gently to give us a pretty line and move the paint around. The more water you have, the more paint you have, not the more pressure you add. So if you're adding pressure to the paint or pressure to the brush, all you do is break it. Water makes the paint. So if you're losing paint and you want more, you must go to the water, not break the paintbrush or break the paint. Any motion that is similar to a stabbing motion only breaks the bristles and the handle of the brush and only destroys our paints. Notice our paints are solid and they're meant to be solid, not meant to be stabbed. Don't pour water on top of the temper cakes. It's meant for you to activate it by the paintbrush.